So how long might the unity in Washington last? And is there a real opportunity to solve some problems together? Joining me now is Ohio Congressman and House Freedom Caucus member Jim Jordan. Welcome back to the show, Congressman.
Good to be with you, Kennedy.
So obviously there is an outpouring of support and calls for unity from both sides. I'm wondering two things from you. How long will it last, and will it in any way affect policymaking in Washington?
Well, let's hope it lasts a long time, and let's hope we can stay focused on the most important issue now, which is Congressman Scalise and the others who were hurt, hoping they get full recovery. That's been the focus. Also, I think you're seeing more members take a few extra moments to thank Capitol Hill Police in light of the heroic actions of some of their colleagues yesterday. So let's hope it lasts a long time, and let's hope we can come together as a country and actually accomplish what the American people sent us here to do. I make this point all the time. Many times they make this job way too complicated. Our job is pretty basic. Do what we told the voters we were going to do what they elected us to do. Let's do that with a smile on our face, but let's do it. All
right, and does doing it mean that you shift to policies that might see some more bipartisan support? Does this mean you take your foot off the health care accelerator and instead move to something like infrastructure?
No, I think it means we do what we were elected to do, what the voters sent us here to do, what we campaigned on doing, but we do it in a way where we focus on the policy, focus on the issue, not make it so personal, which it seems like in some cases it's become. So let's just have a real honest debate. I love the line that the vice president has. He says, I'm a conservative and I'm not mad about it. So let's do it with a smile on our face, but let's fight hard for the things we care about, do it in the proper way, and accomplish the things the American people sent us here to do. That's what I hope happens.
Now, obviously, Obamacare is in a death spiral, and it seems like there may be some problems with the Senate bill. So let's talk a little bit about tax reform.
Sure.
I know that you've been very much invested in this issue, and rightly so, and I agree with you. There shouldn't be revenue neutrality here, because that's just a sleight of hand, three-card Monty that essentially keeps business as usual. You're also against the border adjustment tax. That's another area where I definitely agree with you. Is it possible to do tax reform without health care reform?
I think, well, we need to do both because we campaign on both of those, but you're exactly right. We don't need to put a whole new tax on the American people, which is what the border adjustment tax is, and we certainly shouldn't lock ourselves into this straitjacket called revenue neutrality, which is a fancy way, a Washington way of saying the tax burden is going to stay the same. We're just going to shift around who pays what. Under that scenario, what always happens in this town is the connected class gets a good deal, the middle class folks get a bad deal. So let's forget about that. Let's just do tax policy that lets families keep more of their money and one that is conducive to economic growth.
Can you do that? Can you do that without health care?
I think we need to do both because that's what we told the American people. So let's get the health care bill done. That's in the Senate right now. I think they're going to make progress. I think it's going to happen. And then let's get right on the tax reform. But we in the House can begin working on the tax reform legislation right now.
Yeah,
so
there's no reason that the issue with Russia and anything else should keep members of Congress from doing what they have to do to make Americans more prosperous and remove some of those economic and political shackles. Last question, there has been some talk about security detail for every member of Congress. Do you think this is necessary, and do people in Congress want that?
I mean, I would think that's probably, you know, American citizens don't get a security detail, so I guess I'm not supportive of moving in that direction. But what I do know is we need to take this seriously. Obviously, we had a colleague who had something terrible happen to him yesterday, as well as other individuals, and we're just praying that they are going to have a full recovery and get back to work as soon as they can.
All right. Do you like your fellow Freedom Caucus member Thomas Massie's legislation that would allow members of Congress to conceal carry if they can do that in their home states?
Reciprocity, actually, we've sponsored that legislation in the past. A colleague of ours, Tom Garrett, who's a member of the Freedom Caucus, is sponsoring that legislation now. I think that makes sense. If in your home state you've went through the concealed carry course, had a background checked and can do that and had the training, then it seems to me you should have reciprocity. So I support that legislation.
All right, reciprocity indeed. We'll have more on gun control a little later in the show. Congressman Jordan, thank you so much.
Thank you.